I'd be asking you more different kinds of questions than I normally.
Okay.
Just a little Elvis and more music.
Yep.
Okay, first question's the same one I always ask. What's your name and where you from?
Kevin Williams, Nashville, Tennessee.
How did you first get involved in music?
Let's see. First involved in music, my uncle lived next door, was a bluegrass player, and he played with Flatt and Scruggs and some of those guys way back in the barn dance days, back in the 40s and 50s. And he just got me started on an acoustic guitar. I wanted to learn how to play the guitar to meet girls. That's how it started. And then just took it from there. He showed me a few chords, and I drove mom and dad nuts with those for a while until I learned new songs. And just over the years, we've just picked up more, and just music's always been a love. It's a soul cleanser. It's what keeps you sane sometimes. When you got bad stress or you had your heart broken, music's never going to break your heart. It's never going to leave you. It's always going to be there.
I've been telling you for years I think you're a great guitarist. I love watching you play. Your fingers are so fast. Anyway, how did you become a member of BAM?
Well, I've been playing with other bands, which were like garage bands. We did 80s hair band stuff because I'm an old 80s metalhead, yes. I'm in my 40s. And my brother brought Brooke over to the house, and he was playing a karaoke tape of Brooke singing. Let's see, which one was it? He was singing Love Letters, and then the concert version of My Way, and it was on a tape. He's like, yeah, this is my buddy singing. He's 16. I'm like, there's no way, that's Elvis. There's no way. He goes, yeah, it's him. I'm like, okay, whatever. So the next day I'll come home from work. This is why I lived at home with my mom and dad. This is back when I was in my early 20s. And I go upstairs, start upstairs, and I hear that tape blaring. I'm like, is he playing that tape again? Because I hadn't listened to Elvis a whole lot and stuff. Didn't really open my ears up to a lot of music until then. And I opened the door, sling the door open to say, if you got that playing again? When I did, Brooke is standing there. I'm not kidding you, 16-year-old kid with a mic way out here, burying the last note of My Way, and my jaw dropped. And he's like, hey, it's my buddy Brooke I told you about. Want to start a band? I was like, yeah, sure, when do we start? And we've been together ever since, and we became the best of friends. I mean, music has tied us together. And Brooke's like probably one of the best friends I have in the whole world. You know, he's like almost like a brother from another mother, as they call it. But me and him and Jason have been after it and doing it. Jason's been in and out, of course, due to career change and stuff, but we have fun doing it. And music is a big part of my life.
How did you get involved with Elvis Week shows?
How did I get involved with this? That was Brooke. It was Brooke. We'd had the band together maybe a year when we came out here and did our first show. And our first shows were Elvis stuff because that's what he knew, and I didn't know any of it, but I learned it. And let me tell you, it made me a better musician. It made me a better guitar player, and it made me appreciate more types of music because I became a fan because I really started to listen to what was going on with the music dynamics, and it's just one of those things where you know, it just makes you. It's a reason he's the king, and it taught me a lot about music and where I wanted to go with my music. It opened new doors for me. Like I said, it made me a better musician and appreciate more different types of music. Now I listen to everything, and but I'm still a hard rock and roll blues player. Big time steeped in the blues. Love the blues.
What is the songwriting process like for you?
It's usually somebody stomps on my heart, and I'm all over it for 2 or 3 years, and all of a sudden something will blurt out of my darn mouth, and it's written in about 3 minutes. And usually it's a real thing. I very seldom write. I'm more of the guy that writes the riffs. Brooke will come up with lyrics and a melody, and I'll come up with a guitar riff or stuff. But songwriting is always fun. We haven't got to do a lot of it in years just because of, you know, certain positions in the band being changing out. And but we just wrote one recently, and it's fun.
He told me he had a new one that he wished was out now. Is there a favorite song that you guys have written?
It's got to be Blues Pain.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's got to be Blues Pain.
Tell me about Blues Pain.
Blues Pain, he'd come to me and he was like, man, I got these words. Check out these lyrics. And then I was reading them. I was like, man, this is cool. And he goes, I said, what are you thinking? He's like, I'm feeling it. I was like, how about this? And I said, ba-da-da-da. It's just old Delta style, you know, Memphis blues. Da-da-da-da. and it was like a question and answer, the guitar and stuff. And we went from there and we wrote it, all the music and stuff, probably about, it was one night, probably the core of it, 25 minutes. You know, figured out where we wanted it to go, and it just flowed. And it always gets even though it's not a recognizable song, it gets a lot of good response from everywhere we play it. People love it because it's just hardcore blues.
Who are some of your musical influences?
Musical influences. Stevie Ray Vaughan, big time influence. Eddie Van Halen, Eric Clapton. Joe Bonamassa has been a lot of influence lately. He's an awesome blues player. Even though he's younger than me, he's just a beast on the guitar. All the 80s type of music influenced me some. I like B.B. King, Albert King, all the blues greats. There's been a lot of influence from Elvis since we started doing that stuff. You know, it's been in the way I write and the way I play, and how, you know, it's hard to do a lot of this stuff with one guitar, but you learn how to play that way, you just kind of wing it that way and you roll with it.
Is it easier or harder to get a crowd behind you somewhere like Memphis as opposed to Nashville?
Nashville's a little more difficult. The thing about Nashville, when you're doing stuff, you have to get the people involved and seeing that you enjoy what you're doing. You're having a ball. And being the fact we don't do any country music, ours is all Texas blues, hard rock and blues, rock and roll, classic rock, that type of stuff. We don't play a lot of gigs, especially on Broadway. Ours are mostly more outlying areas, a little closer in. So Memphis here, the way it was in Memphis, we come down here and we pay tribute to Elvis. And if you do the songs justice, people are gonna love you. You know, if they know you're doing it from your heart, they're gonna love you. They see that, you know, you bringing them joy, they're bringing you joy. It's a non-ending circle. It's that circle, like the circle of life. It just goes back and forth. But Nashville's a little tougher just because people want to hear Sweet Home Alabama, and they want to hear Give Me Three Steps, and they want to hear Wagon Wheel. They got songs they want to hear, and a lot of them really just aren't interested in playing. Like Sweet Home Alabama, God bless that song. I know Billy Powell and some of the guys at Skinner have met some of them. I got too much respect for those guys for us to try to pull their stuff off with one guitar. You have to have two guitars and keys and all that. It's the way they build it. That, and we like to do what everybody else is not doing. It's kind of our trademark.
When you guys are getting ready to do a big gig, like you do a 2-hour show here, you tell me you do 4-hour shows sometimes back home. Mm-hmm. How do you prepare for those gigs? Usually
we rehearse just enough to, we're playing consistent enough that there's not a lot of rehearsal time. Rehearsal time usually comes in when we're putting new songs in. We'll sit down, we'll put 4 songs in at a time, and that day we'll rehearse for 3 or 4 hours and get those songs down, and maybe one more rehearsal before we put them in the show, or we'll put them in the show late in the night when, you know, there's usually less people there, and do a dry run with them. So for Elvis Week, we have a lot of these songs that are in our regular set list. We'll fix some and we'll brush up on them because we've been playing them so many years, get them back in the flow, and then just go out and do it. The biggest preparation for something like Elvis Week is just getting, you know, accommodations, traveling, and getting our schedule figured out how we're going to do things so we're on and off the stage as quick as we can be when we're done playing and we're setting up.
You would have been a little kid when Elvis passed away. Do you have any memory at all of that?
I do. I was in kindergarten. I remember it was 1977, I think, and I remember a little bit about it on the news. I knew somebody really famous passed away. Wasn't sure who it was. I remember Mom saying something about it, and then they talked about it at school. And it's been 30-something years ago. It's been a while, and I vaguely remember it. But it's been a while.
What is your goal as a performer? What do you want the audience to take away from your show?
I want to touch somebody's heart. If it's one, it don't matter if it's one person. I want somebody to say, I had an absolute ball with these guys tonight. And I want them, you know, I want them to leave everything. And these guys are just like everybody else. They put their pants on one leg at a time every morning. Because I got a job. I work a job like everybody else. I have a job and I do this because I enjoy it. I want to pull somebody's pain out that night and make them forget it. I want to pull somebody's depression out and make it go away. I want somebody to walk away from there feeling good.
What do you do away from music? What else do you do?
Well, away from music, I work a job about 50 hours a week, of course. I work midnights, so I'm a night crawler. Pam was joking with me and said, what are you doing awake? What are you doing awake during the daytime? Aren't you a vampire? Don't you only come out at night? But I'm a huge drag racing fan. Huge drag racing fan. I try to travel and go to that. I love anything that goes straight and fast. I've got friends in Daytona that run jet cars. I've got to go up to U.S. Nationals, which is a big Top Fuel. All the stuff you see on TV, drag racing, go to a bunch of that. So I've been very blessed with that. Got a local track close by, so during the summer months, I get a lot of racing in. If I had the money to finance both, I'd have a race car too.
What's next for BAM?
Not just doing what we're doing. Grooving, playing, making folks feel good.
No albums coming out?
Oh, we've got a three-song CD we're working on for some more promo stuff. And we're talking about maybe doing an album. We haven't done anything, a big project in a while, but as with anything, that requires funding. And recording's not cheap. It's not cheap. Everything's usually done by the hour, so it's expensive.
I'll do a couple of Elvis questions now.
All right.
It's been 36 years now. People are still here, and this wouldn't happen for other people. What is it about Elvis that keeps all these people coming back?
He was him. There was nobody else. He had something that God blessed him with to touch people. He touched some places in their heart when they were down or up. You know, he went places other people just couldn't. One, maybe they were scared to. Two, he was sent here to do this. That was his thing. I mean, and it continues long after he's been gone. He's still touching. You see the younger generation coming up, didn't grow up with these songs, and they're hearing them and they're loving it. He was just cool. He was the king. I mean,
when you're doing these Elvis songs live, are you making up your solos, or are you like doing the actual solos?
A lot of it's ad lib. Most all of it, my stuff is ad lib because I am no James Burton. James Burton is a very extremely talented guitar player. He uses these 3 or 4 fingers, what they call chicken pick, like this, to get all 4 or 5 of the strings. I've got to pick. I'm a solid. I can't make these. These stringers are dead. They don't talk to the brain, so up here, so I'll eventually learn it, but that's just my style. I play what I feel. I play pretty close to some of the stuff. Like we do Never Been to Spain. I play one of James' solos there. He's not doing a whole lot of blistering corded chicken picking on it. I mean, it's cool stuff. It's what you hear in country music today. All the fast picking players. James Burton was one of the pioneers on it. Him, Merle Travis, Jerry Reed. Those guys really did a lot of that. Jerry Reed actually played on some of Elvis' stuff. He played on Big Boss Man, the original recording of that. He played that one with Elvis.
Sweet. Okay, would you share any funny stories you can think of that involve the band, please?
Funny stories. All right, we're coming down here probably the third year we played here. We were staying over on State Line Road, and the hair was getting a little bushy when I had more hair. Jason had his clippers, my brother, the drummer, and I was like, he trimming his hair. I was like, give me a trim, man. I said, just put the guard on 2 or 3. So he puts the guard on. We go out and sit down on the steps of the hotel, puts it to my sideburn here, and goes, go up the head. And when he did, the guard didn't lock. So he goes, and it goes, it sounded like a lawnmower that hit tall grass. He goes, uh-oh. I said, what'd you do? He said, Houston, we have a problem. I touched it, and there's a bald streak. I said, you might as well go ahead and shave all of it, because it went all the way to the top of my head. One big stripe gone. And I said, go ahead and shave it all. So they took turns drawing animals in my head and stuff. And of course, the rest of me was tan. My head was solid white, and it was hot. As soon as I got out here to the tent, there was bumps all over it. It was just an ugly sight. But they got a good laugh out of it. So.
Is it true that you're on like a brochure for Opryland or something like that?
Yeah,
How did that come about?
72, 73, first year it was open. Mom took us out there. We're out there. I'm in a stroller, a year old. And it's, if you got I think it's a 73 brochure, I'm in a little Navy suit, laying asleep in a stroller out there in the park.
That's awesome.
You can find it on Facebook. It's on there somewhere.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, just the only thing left, would you mind doing a few ads for the show, and then we'll be done?
Sure.
Would you say, hi, my name is Kevin Williams, welcome to Elvis Week 2013?
Hi, my name is Kevin Williams. Welcome to Elvis Week 2013.
Next one is, hi, my name is Kevin Williams, and you're watching Walking on the Boulevard.
Hi, my name is Kevin Williams, Memphis, Tennessee, and you're watching Walking on the Boulevard.
And the last one is, my name is Kevin Williams, and you're watching ETAs.
My name is Kevin Williams, and you're watching ETAs.